Welcome. This is the Ruffina Show. Exploring the world of our lifestyles, you'll be amazed at our revelation. Sit back, fasten your seatbelt, and enjoy the show. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to the Ruffina Show. Yet again, on the hot seat with me today is a very exciting and important person. That person is none other than my special guest, High Chief Richmaod MacGray. The rest I'm going to allow him to introduce because his title is more than I can say. So, High Chief Richmaod MacGray, please introduce yourself. High Chief, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. My names are Richmaod Turishegogwa, meaning God comes first. Whatever God puts his hands leads. MacGray. So the Turishegogwa is my African name, and it means whatever God puts his hand comes first or leads. And I am the Orishebulwo of Warri Kingdom, meaning God or Lord is with the king. But to make it easy for everyone to pronounce, I am also known as Ogiaga Olusi or Ogiaga Olusi. Ogiaga is a title. Olusi is that famous one. That's, you can be Ogiaga, but the famous one.
You know, this is very interesting, and I'm going to take it one after the other.
Yes.
So the audience can understand.
Yes.
First of all, you and I go back a long way. If I seem a little bit familiar, please forgive me. It's only because of the relationship that we have from many years ago. But seeing you today, with all due respects that you deserve, I welcome you to the Ruffina Show. And it's lovely seeing you again. But before we begin, I'd just like to see if the cameraman can actually get your full regalia, because there's a reason why you are like this.
Yes.
If it can be shown on camera, I don't know if you can, but if it is, just before I start, I mean, from the hat, the feathers, the corals, the beads, and obviously
the crucifix.
The crucifix, the shirt, and also the material, the beautiful material. I'm even scared to touch it because of your status.
Yes.
But in saying that, you're welcome. So
Thank you very
you've
much.
told us who you are, your names, and of course your title, and that you are from the Warri Kingdom.
Yes.
The representative of the Warri Kingdom.
Yes.
What I'd like to say to you is, what is it like being a representative? Because I did a little bit of research about you. I mean, I know you for one thing, and having seen you a long time ago and then meeting you again and then seeing you dressed in this fine regalia, I was almost intimidated. I didn't even know how to approach you. But I remember after talking to you and asking you the question, you said to me there's a reason for it. And that reason I want to put to you now is, would you just first of all like to tell us about your childhood? Tell us about your childhood.
Yes. My mother is a princess from a tribe called Ishekiris, the Ishekiri tribe. The Ishekiri tribe live in 3 local government area of Delta State of Nigeria, and because my mother is a princess from this tribe called Ishekiri, which happened to be one of the smallest.
Ishekiri, not Shekiri. Because you know a lot of people pronounce this very wrongly, and I'm probably one of those as well, because I call it Shekiri. But
Yeah.
Ishekiri.
Ishekiri.
Okay.
because that E is very, very important. Ishe Ikiri. The meaning is that Ishe, the prayer or the blessing of a noble man called Ikiri, who first met the royal family. Well, the tribe was named in honor of him, that he prayed for the king when the king came to visit him, Ginua the first. And the Ginua was the one who decided to name the tribe, and he said, the prayer that my host prayed for us, may that prayer embrace and lead us. That is Ishe. Yoruba will say Ashe. The prayer of Ikiri, may it continue to guide and protect us. And that's the meaning of Ishe Ikiri.
So it's really the prayer.
Yes.
The prayer that guides the people.
Of that noble man. May he continue to embrace, protect, and lead us. And since then, the prayer has been working. And so it is very, very important that Ishe.
It is which is the IT. Which is
ITSE.
Yes.
Ishe Kiri. So my mother is from the royal family of Ishe Kiri. And my father is Scottish. And I was born into this mixed race family in Nigeria. I grew up there.
Before we go into, you just told us that you're mixed race.
Yes, I was born in mixed race.
You were born in mixed race. How did your father come to be in Nigeria before meeting your mother, who's from a noble and royal family?
You see, love takes us anywhere.
Oh, yes.
Love can take people anywhere.
Yes.
Love knows no color, no age, no boundaries. My father told me that...
he told you, is he still alive?
He's still alive. He's 91 years old. He was 91 on the 25th of September this year.
Congratulations, Daddy.
He lives in Sapele, where I was born.
Yes.
He's lived all his life in Sapele. He lived there with my mom, married to my mom for nearly 60 years, until unfortunately my mom passed away. December 1st, 2019 would make it 10 years since my mom passed away. And that's my hometown. And Sapele. And my father is still there. And he will continue to live there.
This Scottish white man is still in Sapele for over 60 years.
You call him Scottish white man. To him, he's more Nigerian than
most Nigerians.
Because his definition is that he was here before Nigeria became an independent country.
Okay.
So therefore, because he's older than Nigeria, he's lived in Nigeria before Nigeria had an independence. He is more Nigerian
than Nigeria itself. Are you serious?
And he speaks Ishekiri fluently more than me.
But how did he get there?
His father is Scottish.
Yes.
And his father was a manager for a company called Miller Brothers.
Okay.
The now known as UAC.
Okay.
From Miller Brothers, they became a United African company.
Miller Brothers, not Lever Brothers.
No, Miller.
Miller Brothers.
Lever Brothers is a subsidiary of this big company.
Companies, okay.
You know, Miller Brothers, Lever Brothers, and so on.
Yes.
And they became Niger Royal Company. They were
multinational companies.
Yeah, they were ruling Nigeria.
Of course, that produced everything that we use in Nigeria.
Yeah. And after that, they became UAC, United African Company. And my grandfather was working in one of the subsidiaries, and in cocoa.
Okay.
You know, and they had my dad.
Cocoa as the commodity. Cocoa.
No, that's COCO.
Okay, this
one is KOKO.
So what do they produce?
Cocoa is the name of a town in Delta State.
Okay.
They have a seaport, they have army barrack, they have a museum, they have everything. And cocoa is famous for one gentleman, the first African that fought a war, one human being fought a war against the British Empire for 3 months, and his name is called Chief Nana Ulumu. You can Google it and find out.
Chief Nana Ulumu. Is he Ghanaian?
No. Eriomala is his full name.
Okay.
But when he was captured
yes,
by the British, you can imagine the imperial power fighting against one man. The history is that he was betrayed by his best friend, Obakosoko of Lagos State. He escaped and went to Lagos State.
I'm going to stop you right there. I think this is a very interesting topic, and I know there's a lot of people
tell you that
watching.
Because some Ghanaians may want to ask that question.
Yes.
Just to make it quick, he went to Lagos to seek solace, with his friends.
Yes.
And the friend, because there was a bounty on his head, he was betrayed and handed over to the British. Then he was sent on exile to Ghana. His name is Eriomala. But because the Ghanaians couldn't pronounce his name, they were calling him Nana, Nana, Nana. And when he came back, he was just answering Nana, abbreviation.
But he's not even.
He's not Nana.
I see. Now, this is a very interesting. I'm so happy that you're on this program today, because you were meant to come last week, but something happened, so we postponed it to today. If any of you are interested in actually joining us, the number to reach is 020-800-46100. Please call us and join in the program. You can ask me, hi Chief Richmond, here any questions. We want to make it an interactive session today. Now, going back to your childhood, as I said, you told us about your father.
My grandfather.
Your grandfather and then your father.
They had my dad, and my dad was left behind with some missionaries before the Second World War.
So your father went back?
My grandfather went back.
Your grandfather went back to
Scotland.
Yes, and left your father behind
with some missionaries who were to stay behind.
Why would your father? Okay, at this point, your father had met your mother.
No, my dad was very young. He was only about 10 years old before the Second World War started.
Okay.
And he was living with these missionaries whom he knew as his father, because they brought him up with his elder brother.
I'm just racing ahead because I'm so excited about this
and
story.
he stayed with them.
Yes.
Lived all his life in Nigeria. And
that was that?
Yeah, and that was it.
But your grandfather, did they have any interaction?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, of course, he kept going.
It continued. The relationship, was there until I lost my granddad during the Second World War. That is, his father left before the Second World War, died during the Second World War. But he continued with these missionaries who brought him up and lived in Nigeria.
And he knew nothing else.
And he knew nothing else. And he learned to speak the language, he learned the culture, and he just lived as a Nigerian. He's as white as the Queen of England, but he's Nigerian.
So if we're just to wind forward and pan it forward, how did he then meet your mother?
He told me that he went in search of he saw a beautiful lady he actually wanted to start a relationship with, and he initially said, because he's a very handsome man, he never wanted to be married. He said, he loved being a toy in the hands of beautiful women.
Oh my goodness!
He never wanted to marry. And when you
he was missing his mother.
Yeah, when you look at him, he was so handsome. And then he saw a lady. He followed the lady to the school where the lady was a student. And on getting there, as he said, he saw this petite, beautiful lady who happened to be the teacher of the class, and that was it. He changed his mind and he said, "I must marry this lady," and he married her. And that's my mom.
So he was in pursuit of one, and then found another.
He was following silver and he found diamond.
And that was it. Well, this is it. Sometimes we pursue the wrong thing, and then patience is a virtue.
Yes, and God takes you somewhere else.
Yes, patience is a virtue. Going back to that now, that's a wonderful story. I mean, it's just a lovely story. Is Mom still? Oh, you said Mom.
Yeah, Mom passed away unfortunately on the 1st of this December. I'll make it 10 years.
Wow.
So I'll be going home to.
You'll be going home.
Yeah, to pay my honor.
So, at the age of 16, where were you at the age of 16? You know, normally why I tagged the age of 16 is that it is said that, you know, children become adults at the age of 16. If it's right or wrong, I don't know, but this is the British law. 16, you're more or less an adult. So at the age of 16, living between these two cross cultures, where were you at the age of 16?
That takes me back. But at the age of 16, I'd finished college. I finished college at a very, very young age because I had what they call double promotion in primary school and so on. So at the age of 16, I was in America when I was discovered by an Igbo man called Joseph Igwe, who took me to Nigeria, took me back to Nigeria to open his hotel called Bolingo Hotels in Onitsha. Bolingo Hotel in Fege was the second biggest hotel in Nigeria in the 70s after Federal Palace Hotel. Second biggest privately owned hotel in Nigeria. He took me to Bolingo Hotel to open Bolingo, which was a 5-story hotel, very big in Fege and so on. So at the age of 16, I was already big in the music industry, and I was living in Onitsha. And while in Onitsha, I met a very pretty lady as a young 16, 17 years old, and teenagers. She got pregnant for me.
Is this your wife today?
No, we never got married, you know, teenagers.
Sure.
And but because we were so young, my mom, after that I got admission, I went to university in Ibadan. My mom just looked at me and said, "These too young. They can't look after this, they can't look after themselves." So my mom, when she put to bed in Ibadan in 1980, my mom just took my eldest daughter away, and I got carried away. Made her pregnant second time.
Oh.
Second daughter.
By the same lady.
By the same lady. Then third one.
The same lady.
We're not married. We're just, you know, living our teenage life. And as God will have it, thank God, the 2 girls are married, and I have 7 grandchildren from them.
Congratulations.
And
obviously, this was all due to the help of your mother.
Yeah, between the age of 16 and 19, I'd already had 3
children.
Yeah.
16.
All from what I got from Onitsha.
I don't even know if I should say. They say education, and of course I'm a believer of education. But I asked that question again, and I said the age of 16. Well, obviously, before the age of 16, you were already, I would say, a star in your own right.
Yes. By the age of 16, I think if I'm not mistaken, from the age of 14, I was already appearing on television, newspapers, magazines all over the country. Then I think by the age of 16, 17, I'd already appeared in international magazines, and one of them you can still get in the British Library, published, African Music. It used to be edited by one Tony Amadi. He was the first African publisher and editor in this country.
You know, I did say from the beginning that our paths have crossed before, and it's a long time ago. And I know you for one thing, because I want to know why you got famous before the age of 16. So I know you for one thing that, for me, you were famous for. And the High Chief we see sitting here today was actually once a DJ. A lot of people will probably find that interesting. Yes, he was a DJ. I remember going to different parties, different cultural parties, and private parties, whereby he has actually been hired to play. So it's a very interesting thing for me, knowing him as a DJ, and also seeing him now sitting, and he's become a High Chief. So, this fame that you got before the age of 16, how did it come about? You talked about, I think I stopped you talked about African music. What were you doing before the age of 16 to make you famous? Were you playing music? How did it come about?
The thing is that I was just a DJ. And the other thing again is that sometimes when you are blessed with a talent,
Yes.
you don't struggle. You don't work hard for it.
Yes.
It just happens. And
So from the age of, let's leave 16 now.
Yeah.
So from the age of 10, when your father left you, yes? When you went to the missionary.
No, my dad went to missionary. But for me,
Yes.
I started playing music, but even by the age of 9. Those who
Okay.
went to primary school with me will know that I was the band leader of the school at the age of 9.
Okay.
In my primary school.
Mhm.
Then when I went to secondary school, I was playing, hitting the table, playing music to my friends. I was in a boarding school until I finished, and I became so famous musically at school to the
I
point
see.
that even my classmates were offering me like Bon Vita.
As a way of
payment.
payment.
By payment, as a gate fee to wash me. And then at the time I was a DJ, we were only 4 DJs in the whole of Nigeria that had their own disco equipment. Benson
In those days,
Idonije,
it was
Alex Condi,
turntables.
myself, Femi Ray, and I think Femi Jarrett. All of these names, I think is only 2 of them are still alive. I think Benson Idonije is in his 80s now.
Okay.
And Femi Jarrett, I think approaching 80. These were the only DJs in the whole of Nigeria and myself that had our own personal equipment. And as I said, because I was just born into it, things were easy for me.
Yes.
And I was playing American music,
Yes.
you know.
Am I allowed to touch it?
No, you're not. And it was when I came to England that I started to play African music, and I had a reason for playing African music.
Can you tell us that reason?
Yes. When I came to England, my color meant something to me. Because I was born into a mixed race, color didn't mean anything to me. My dad was white, my mom is African. Until somebody came in to meet me in school. That's Holborn Law School. There's a place in this country.
Holborn Law School in London.
Yes.
Yes.
And he's a Nigerian. I asked him to see me there on Saturday. As he walked in, he came straight to me and he was just talking to me. And I asked him, I said, how did you know it's me? Because we've never met before. He said, you are the only black here now. And I looked at myself and
he
I
was
realized,
black.
yeah, he's black.
Yes.
And I realized I was actually the only African in my course. At the time I was studying for licensing or entertainment law, I was the only black or ethnic minority in this country. We were only 9 pioneer students. So for the first time, this guy told me, oh, you are the only black. Then I looked at myself, then I realized I am black. Prior to that, I just thought I was normal, like any other person, whether black or white. And then I started to realize that people were treating me or relating to me based on my color. I have no identity. I'm neither white nor black. So I had to find a way. I had to find my own identity. And finding my own identity, I have to be comfortable in my own identity.
Sure.
And one thing I accepted or defined myself as is that I prefer to be a first-class citizen in my Africa, where I come from, than to be a second-class citizen in this first-class country. So
Can you just repeat that again?
I prefer to be a first-class citizen in my Africa that you call third world than to be a second-class citizen.
You know why
in
I
a first-class
asked you
country.
to repeat that? Because there's a lot of people that will that will put themselves in so much difficulties trying to get into this first-class world that they think. Obviously, wherever you are, make it your own.
Mm-hmm.
I know one can say it's easy for her to say, but we just have to make the best of what we have.
Mm-hmm.
So you realized that your color became an obstruction then, because before
Mm-hmm.
that you never thought about it.
Never thought about
Now
it.
you have now been made to realize that, hello, you're actually a color.
Yeah.
But isn't it interesting that it wasn't said by a white person, it was said by a black person?
Yeah.
So we're now shifting from the subject of what I'm here to ask you about culture and how you became to be who you are.
But it helped me. It helped.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't racism. It helped me to identify
Yes.
with one particular culture. And even it helped me to identify both cultures. But you see, whatever you define yourself,
Yes.
people will accept it. We have different shades of black, we
Oh,
have
yes.
different shades of white.
Yes.
Whatever you choose to call yourself or whatever you want, people will adjust. It's like if you don't smoke, you don't smoke at all.
Yes.
Smokers come to your house.
They won't
If you
smoke.
let them know that you don't want smoking in your house, they will adjust. They will stay. If it 2-3 hours, they will stay comfortably
Mhm.
without lighting the stick.
Mm-hmm.
So once people know who you are,
You
what
have
you
principles.
Yeah, they
Live
will
by your
play in.
principles.
They will
Because there's a
play.
lot of people today
Mm.
that principles have just gone out of the window.
Yeah.
Going back to how you became who you are, what shaped it? I mean, sometimes we say, what is it or is it not within your family that actually shaped your existence of becoming a high chief? How did it come about?
If I look back, how I wish I could ask the king who conferred or bestowed this honor on me, why? Unfortunately, he went to the other world a few years ago. But I think it's all started from what I started doing for my tribe, for my people, lots of charity. At the time I was made a chief, I had given over 298 university scholarships
Okay.
from all the money I made from music. I had given hospital equipment, surgical equipment worth millions of naira, over 80 million naira to various hospitals, cultural groups, equipment. I empowered so many people. I think the king was able to look back and say, oh, maybe if we honor this young man, that will trigger him to do more. But considering that I'm not the first child of my parents, and secondly, because I'm the first person in the history of my tribe to be made a chief outside the shores of Nigeria for over 1,000 years, it was a very difficult choice for the king, but I want to take you back to the Bible. The Bible tells us about a man God called and said, I want you to bring all your children because I want to make one a king.
Yes.
He brought all his children except the last one. And God said, no, are these all your children? He said, no, there's one still in the farm, attending to the animals and so on. God said, bring him. And that's the last one. And he made him the king. He became the best king in the Christendom. And he was the only person in the Bible named that, the man after God's heart. And his name was King David of Israel. And through his lineage, you have King Solomon, who is known to be the wisest in the Christendom. So, although I am not the eldest of my parents, I am not the best person in my tribe, but God has a purpose why they picked me and made me. And because of that honor bestowed on me, I said one thing. I said, for this honor bestowed on me, I'm owing two things must happen. The tribe, Ishekiri Warri Kingdom, is owing me a debt, and I'm also owing them. And the debt is that in my lifetime, I will use all the blood in my body to promote the African tradition in me, which is my tribe, and what the tribe is owing me in return is to become greater in my life.
What does it mean to you? Because I'm just looking to see if somebody's actually trying to get through. What does it mean to you being a high chief? Okay. Just one moment, please. Okay. I don't. Okay. Just
So,
viewers, just excuse me. Hello.
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 Hi.
Okay. Sorry. If our line is not working, if you just give me one moment, please. Audience, the telephone number to call is 020 800 46 100. Can you just ring that number so we can actually pick it up? So go ahead, sir.
My name is Dr. Emmanuel Towanche.
Dr. Emmanuel Towanche.
Yes.
Richmaod MacGray.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
sir, we can hear you.
Dr. Emmanuel Towanche.
Yes.
I'm the president of the Shekiri Congress UK.
He said he's the president of the Shekiri Congress in
I
the
am the
United
president of
Kingdom.
the Shekiri Congress UK.
Yes, sir. Thank you. What is your question to High Chief Richmaod?
I'm watching you guys and High Chief Richmaod.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you have any questions for him?
I will.
Can you hear us?
Sir, can you hear us?
Yeah, what I would like is if High Chief could just take us. Yes, I do.
Your question?
My question is actually not a question, but I would like, I can hear you.
Yes, go ahead. Ask your question or tell us what you would like.
Can Chief Richmaod take us through his progress from Sapele?
Sapele.
We're not hearing you very well.
Okay,
Could you
it's
just
echoing
repeat that
back.
question?
Yes, what you're saying is echoing back.
I will appreciate if Chief Richmaod can take us through his steps from Sapele.
Oh, yes, okay. I think
the
it's...
High Chief and his current position.
Okay, I think you heard.
Yes,
what
I
he said.
hear you.
Yeah, take us back to...
Yes. In answer to your question, I was born in Sapele. I grew up in Sapele, and my family lives in Sapele. My properties are still in Sapele. So I'm a born Sapele man, and I left Sapele for England. And until I became, I was here when I was made a chief, and my reception, everything was also held in Sapele.
Okay, so because I think he wants to also know your current position. That's what led me to asking.
Yes.
How did you feel when you were bestowed this honor? Because you were still in the United Kingdom, and when you heard that this was going to happen, how did you feel?
It was a shock. It was a shock because the Bible says that the greatest honor, a king is not honored, it's not known in his own domain.
Yes.
And that was the greatest honor that my community, my tribe, my people can bestow on me. And considering that no one outside Nigeria has ever been bestowed with any chieftaincy title.
This high,
yes. And then to be called upon and to make history, it was the greatest honor that my community, my tribe, my nation can bestow on me.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your questions, sir. Thank you very much. Next time, perhaps if you turned your TV down, we could hear you better. Well, thank you for calling. Thank you. Okay, so I mean, that was very nice. I don't know why that is not working here, but going back to my question, when this was, how has this affected your life in Britain?
In a way, because prior to me becoming a chief, I'd done so many jobs that I passionately love. I was an international model for 14 years. I was working as a civil servant, as a manager in the civil service. I was a lawyer. I was a DJ. And I was doing all this 7 days a week. And then all of a sudden, I'm bestowed a chief.
High chief.
Very, very high chief. And I was now confronted with all of this. And there are things that goes with the position. There are things that goes with this position. It's a full-time job. I can't be a chief only at weekends or Monday to Friday and then. So all I had to do was to sit down and make a decision. And one of the decisions was that because this position carries a lot of responsibility and a lot of respect.
Yes.
Because I was a DJ, is what I liked, it's my passion, but unfortunately to some people it has no respect. So I had to give up.
I need you to stop there. We're going to go for just a short break.
Okay.
And within that short break, I'm going to take you back to It Has No Respect.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to take a short break. I'll be coming back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wake the streets up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wake the streets up. Okay. Come on. Okay. Wake the streets up. Yeah.
Yeah. Bó ti yá. Gbogbo aláyẹyẹ pẹ̀lú ní pàtì àti ilé ìjọsìn ẹ fẹ́ ṣe polówó. Heritage TV. Heritage TV. Wọ́n bẹ nílùú London o. Heritage TV. Wọ́n fọwọ́ wọn sọ̀yà o. Heritage TV.
Ẹ̀yin aráàlú London ǹjẹ́ ẹ ti gbọ́ pé iléeṣẹ́ Heritage TV tún ti gbé àrà tuntun yọ o. Gbogbo àríyá yín pátápátá la ó máa bá yín polongo rẹ̀ jákèjádò gbogbo ayé ká máa ṣayẹyẹ ní London ká sì máa wò l'Amẹ́ríkà ní Nàìjíríà àti káàkiri àgbáyé lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ àti lójú kan náà bó jẹ́ lórí fídíò tàbí lórí photograph tó mọ́lẹ̀ yékéyéké Heritage TV ní bàbá o. Gbogbo àwọn ayẹyẹ yín bí ọjọ́ ìbí ìsìnkú àgbà ìgbéyàwó àjọ̀dún ilé ìjọsìn yín Heritage Television ní kẹ́ ẹ máa bọ̀ tààràtà ìlú London la wà United Kingdom la tẹ̀dó sí ẹ kàn sí wa lórí ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí 020-800-46100 tàbí lórí ẹ̀rọ alátagbà wa ayẹyẹ@heritagetv.co.uk àti lórí ẹ̀rọ alágbèéká 0734-123-4560 Heritage TV àbálẹ̀tù ọmọdé làwó.
My daughter-in-law. So how are you planning for my son's birthday? I have to cook for her. Do you people have ogirisi there? No. It's okay. Okay, let me call you back. Mama Chiji, okay. Hi, so wait a market. Please pack some ogirisi. I am going to visit my son. My daughter-in-law. It's arranged. But you must use original red oil to prepare the soup. What? I'll call you back. Mama Chijo, please include Isio Morocco. My daughter-in-law. Everything is now set. But don't forget that gold wristwatch I saw the last time I visited.
Now you can talk until you tire for just 11 kobo a second. Call all networks in Nigeria and 30 international destinations, including US, UK, China, Canada, and India for just 11 kobo per second. Dial *211# to activate.
That's Silk Bobo.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Welcome back. We had to take a short break there because we had a little technical error. I'm going to repeat the number again. If any of you are interested in calling the program, the number is 020-800-46100. 020-800-46100. 46 100. Thank you. Now, High Chief Richmond, I'm going to take you back before we had that short break. You were just telling us about, I asked the question, what does it mean to you being who you are today in Britain?
You see, as I was saying, I had so many talents that I've been blessed with, and they were bringing in very good money. But the crown of it all was being made or conferred with the chieftaincy title. It's not a part-time job, and all I had to do was to see how I can juggle the different talents, profession, and blessings. And it was very difficult. So all I had to do was one morning I woke up and I said, you know what? The greatest honor is being a chief. Every other thing can take a back seat. I'm going to give up everything and give my time to my tribe, my community, as a payback.
But did you understand what it was? You just said the greatest honor is being a chief.
Yes.
Did you understand what high chieftaincy was all about?
No,
You didn't.
No. You know, sometimes you don't plan. You know,
Yes.
God, you just called upon, and
So after, I just want to understand this. There is no school that you go to become a chief.
no.
So your kingdom, your people, they've made a telephone call and researched your family, researched you, made you a chief. Then what took place? How did you then, what protocols go behind doing what you do?
I was only given 2 weeks to come back to England, come home and take the chieftaincy. So, and in these 2 weeks, I just rushed straight to my dad.
So you don't get prepared?
No, no, because you see, you in my tribe, you can never aspire to become a chief. You cannot buy chieftaincy title. You cannot
buy
chieftaincy title.
chieftaincy title. You cannot buy it.
No matter who you are.
Why I'm saying that is, you know, we make jest of this sometimes. There are a lot of Nigerians, Africans in this country that wear what we call opu red, that have bought it one way or the other. But then they get to the airport, Muratale Mohammed Airport, and it comes off. You cannot buy it. No amount of money, no amount of wealth will actually bestow you that honor.
Yes.
And then you carry what is called the Ofo stick,
Yes.
the stick of truth. So this is a correct high chief that has been bestowed upon by his people for the deed that he has done.
When I was made a chief, we were less than 30 in the whole world. And for you to know that you cannot be a chief, no matter how wealthy, no matter how powerful, no matter how influential you are, I want to give you some things that people can relate to across the world that are Ishekiris, but they were never given chieftaincy. One, Ejweshi. Ejweshi was like the permanent representative of Nigeria in this country at the Nigeria High Commission. He died as Mr. The former super permanent secretary during the time of Yakubu Gowon, Alison Aida, he died as Mr.
And all these were from Shekiri Kingdom.
From Shekiri Kingdom. We have Chief Hope Harriman, the first Nigerian surveyor, qualified surveyor, the first Nigerian. He's called Chief Hope Harriman. He did not get his chieftaincy from Ishekiri. He went to Ife, the Oni of Ife gave him chieftaincy title, not Ishekiri.
Did you see? This is
and because he's a chief in Ife,
he cannot
sit where I sit as Ishekiri chief. Then we also have the first female television broadcaster in Nigeria. Chief Julie Coker.
Yes.
Julie Coker is an Ishekiri. Her chieftaincy is from Lagos State, not Ishekiri.
A woman?
Yeah. The first pilot in the whole of Nigeria is an Ishekiri. His name is Captain Bob Hayes. He's an Ishekiri. He's not even made a chief, but with some other tribe.
They give it to them.
Even governors. Chief James Ibori is half Ishekiri. He got his chieftaincy from Urobo, his father's side. The next governor, Emmanuel Udwan, who served 8 years, is still Mr. Except the king calls you. And a lot of research will have been done and bestow this honor on you.
I am going to shift.
And there's something he gives to you which only kings wear. And this is this white bead with the coral.
Yes.
Only very high chiefs of Warri Kingdom and kings
wear it.
Kings in Nigeria wear this.
Yes.
And with this.
Yes.
Any chief can wear, but you will never see any chief anywhere in Nigeria that wears this, except he sits and eats with kings. So Ishekiri chiefs are not ordinary chiefs. They are like kings, but we've only got one king in the whole of Ishekiri.
I was just about to ask you that. And that is duty. I was just going to say, what is your duty within this role?
Yes. I asked the same question when I was made a chief. I said, what can I do and what can I not do?
Yes.
The answer was that when you have a leader who is the king, you wash him. What the king does, you do. What the king cannot do, you cannot do. And that's what makes you... Take, for example, some very basic, simple thing. I cannot eat in public. The reason being that as a representative of this great nation and people, and I wear white, purity. Not everyone has got good etiquette of eating. So the best thing
to do is
to respect the tribe and the community that you represent. Don't eat in public. Some people eat, open their mouth and make noise. And two, accidents do happen. So sometimes, you don't want to
your
stay in your
regalia
place.
can become stale.
After all, you're coming from your house. From there, you're going back to your house. So I don't eat in public, not even chewing gum, not even cola nut. But to socialize, I have a little bit of drink with the people. I can be called upon 24 hours to mediate. If there's conflict, if there's misunderstanding, I can be called upon to give a child away in marriage. I can be called upon if they have they need knowledge about culture, tradition.
I was just going to come to that. You attended Miss Adama Beauty Pageant 5-year anniversary on the 28th of September. And we had one or two kings there. I will call them kings in the Igbo language, Igwes. And of course, they were there and you were there. But there was something fascinating that you did. When they came in, it is said sometimes women are far removed from this, but I observed when one or two kings came in, because they didn't come together, they all came separately. You had to take the people ushering them in back to say no.
And they
do it properly. And for me, that was quite fascinating. This is why I asked, what are your duties? Now, you said there is no school where you go, but of course throughout the years you've been watching, and it's like protocol. You now know what the protocol is. This is why I said, for those who wear the Oku red, know your place. Know your place. This culture of ours is here to stay. So let us, those who know it, teach us the right way. Because you can only, if you have it, you can only teach what you have. If you don't have it, stop confusing people. Stop confusing the young people who are coming, thinking that what is happening in London is the right thing. Let those who know the culture actually teach those who are willing to learn. And where do I say that? When we go out into the public, into our functions, let those who know the right thing say the right thing. And of course, one of the chiefs that broke one of the kings that broke the Igwes that broke the kola nut, actually mentioned something of such that anyone who is not
a title holder, recognized title holder, shouldn't come and partake.
Why is that?
You see, kola nut is one symbol of unity. It is shared by like-minded people. Kola nut is not just eaten for the sake of it, although it has its own medicinal value to those who want to eat it. Kola nut is used for marriages, for oracle, for curse, and for merriment. And each time kola nut is broken, it goes with prayer. You can also use it to curse someone. You have to belong to partake in the sharing and the eating of this sacred fruit. It is not to be eaten in
lightly.
It's not chocolate.
Sure.
You can buy it and eat in your house as chocolate. But you must also remember that at that function, the kola nut was broken by the king.
Yes.
In my place, I cannot break kola nut for anybody. There are some rules because I am the high chief. I cannot break kola nut for the commoners. I cannot cook for the commoner. It is the commoner that will cook for me. But if the Igwe respects the tribe and break the kola nut for the tribe, then it has to be the right people that will come and partake. Not every Tom, Dick and Harry.
Okay.
But in my place, I can break kola nut and share with the king or with kings, but not commoners.
Okay.
And with the Igbo tradition, a king broke the kola nut. He can only share with kings and title holders. And you know yourself.
Right.
If you are not initiated, don't go there.
So that's what that meant.
Yes, that was
and
why
I know
said
when
that.
he said that, a lot of people stayed back.
Many people stayed behind because some of the, with due respect to some of the chiefs here, we don't know how they got their chiefs. They just call themselves chiefs. Yeah. But now, this is a proper king.
And they cannot
test of your strength.
Oh, yes.
Do not come in here and take kola nut from me if you are not a properly installed chief.
Person.
And they all respected themselves.
Yes.
And that's how it should be.
This is wonderful because we've taken this our beautiful culture and just made it into something that doesn't mean anything anymore.
So commonize it.
Yes, it's terrible. Yeah. And I always say culture is beautiful because the British, everybody has culture.
Yes.
Culture is wonderful.
Yeah.
Culture is the identity. I mean, look at our High Chief today with his feathers, the hat, the beads, the regalia is just so beautiful.
Thank you very much.
And anybody seeing this will know that, oh my God, you're either someone special, somebody important, and it's only by telling in the dress, the way we dress. So culture is everything. Now, taking you back to the part of Nigeria that you are a high chief of, tell us about that area of Nigeria.
I'm from a town called Warri. Warri is a town, and there are 3 local governments that are Warri, South Warri, Southwest, Warri North. These 3 local governments are within the rulership of the Olu of Warri. Although we have a shekeri spread into like Ondo State, Edo State, and so on. And Warri is in the south of Nigeria, and they are the highest producer of oil in Delta State. And there's only one king in Warri, and for the whole tribe of Ishekiri or Warri, there's only one king. We have only one king. We speak just one language. There's no dialect. Just one. Like you see with the Igbos, the Onisha dialect is different from the Owerri, from Owerri to Aba. They have different dialects. Just the same as Yoruba, you have the Ekiti language of dialects is a bit different from Ibadan and Lagos and so on. But the Shekiri, we've only got one king, one dialect. We all pronounce the same thing everywhere, and one language.
Are you happy with the state of Warri?
You see, yes and no. But history has a way of changing things. If I look back at what I enjoyed as a child, they are no longer there. Things change.
Yes.
It's like when I came to England, things have changed, like mobile phone and so on and so forth. There was a bit of respect even when I came to England, but nowadays, things have changed, and I will pray and hope that though things have changed, but it should change for good.
Yes. I asked that question because obviously Nigeria being what it is today, and you mentioned that the part of the world that you come from is the highest producing oil.
Yeah.
Now, the equality, we know oil is, gold, precious gold. But your part of the country, are you happy with what they are getting with being the highest producing nation of oil?
The truth is that I'm not.
Yeah.
I am not, in the sense that when you look at the world, every country, every community where there are some precious commodity like gold, diamond, and so on, they have never been able to use it or utilize it for the benefit of the people, apart from one or two places like Dubai or Saudi Arabia and so on, although they have their own peculiar problem.
Sure.
But I will prefer that the amount of resources coming out from those places, if they are properly used, expended on the people, develop the community, many lives will be changed. When I was growing up, there is a language, there's something my parents used to tell me, my language. Unfortunately, this generation have changed it to Rebagwajaje. I will tell you the meaning. Rebagwajaje means go and struggle and make something out of your life. That is Rebagwajaje. But now they change it to Rebagwajaje, meaning go and destroy your hometown and make money out of it. There is a lot of money that comes out of this oil in my community.
It's not spent there.
The young ones, unfortunately, and in connivance with some of the elders, do not have any other job. It is now called the Ishekiri PLC, Public Limited Liability. What belongs to the public belongs to no one. Nobody's taking responsibility. So this is now their job. They earn everything for themselves and their wives and their family. But that cannot make the community grow.
We won't even delve into politics, because I was going to say...
No, it is not politics.
Yes.
It is, you see, politics can be defined in different ways. It is the love.
Yes.
You see, even in your home, your personal home, there's always politics.
Yes.
It is nothing to do with politics, whether this party or no party.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with that. It is the love you have for yourself and you have for your community and for your people.
Yes.
You will do that. You don't need politics to tell you to develop where you come from.
No.
You wake up in the morning, you clean your house,
Yes.
you brush your teeth, you look after your children. You don't need politicians to tell you that.
No.
So I pray that each and every one of us from back home, from Africa, we must look back. Is this what our parents handed over to us?
To us.
And what are we handing over to the next generation?
If you were to be given £1 million, how would you spend it?
I will go to China with the £1 million. And I will not look for multinational or multi-billion pound businesses. I will look for small scale businesses in China and take them to my hometown and tell them we are tired of importing. We don't want that in our dictionary. We want to export. Since you can produce this thing in China, I want you to produce it in my hometown. We have lots of natural resources.
Okay.
With the hope that it will create employment for my people.
Employment for the people. Let's take this call. Thank you. Hello, you're calling the Ruffina show. Thank you for calling. May I know your name?
Hi, Ruffina. This is Ayo Fabio.
Hello, Ayo.
Hi, how are you? Ruffina, I feel like I know you, but we've not met, but I would just like to commend you on your show, and you're doing a very good job anyway.
Thank you, sir.
Good. I have something to contribute, or more just a question that will be directed to the chief.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Hello. I'm hearing you. Hi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm lying down now saying hello to you.
Please get up. Get up.
So just permit me to say stand up, and then I'll stand up.
Stand up, please.
Okay. My question is more on culture and heritage. I know, I've heard severally that the Yorubas and the Ishekiri have some kind of cultural relationship or heritage.
You're right.
And you shed more light on the linkage between the Yorubas and the Ishekiri. Because I know my son's godfather is an Ishekiri man.
Wow.
And some of the words sound, I feel as if I can hear what they say at times, most of the time. You know, how did it all start, and how healthy is the relationship between the Yorubas and the Ishekiri?
Beautiful. I will make it very, very short because of time. The Ishekiris were a sort of community led by a gentleman called Mr. Ikiri, from a place called Ode in current Ondo State or Ekiti State. Ode. This man was living in a place called Oko Eyitemi. Oko is a bush or forest. Eyitemi, this is mine. This is my forest.
This is mine.
And he was living there for over 1,000 years ago with his family and so on. And they had no name. They had no name. They were just living there. Until the year 1475 AD, the Oba of Benin called Oba Ozuola, when he was dividing his kingdom amongst his children, his last to leave was his eldest son called Prince Ginua. He asked him to go and found a new kingdom by the waterside. So the prince left Benin kingdom with 70 chiefs. The children, the eldest sons of the 70 chiefs. And they traveled until they got to this town called Oko Eyitemi and met this nobleman called Ikiri. Although the people from Benin, there was a bit of language barrier, but they were able to understand each other. The prince introduced himself as the son of Oba Ozuola.
Okay.
he was able to understand because they have Oba in Yoruba land. That's a king. He surrendered himself and his family and his household and everybody prostrated and greeted the prince and said, whatever you want, I surrender my household to you. Now, tell me, after food, they finished eating and said, tell me what I can do for you. So the prince, he came in with a voodoo man or a soothsayer or a great hunter, and they always have a dog with them, who then threw his spear. Where the spear landed, the dog, they followed the dog to the spot, and they found a leaf that grows in the place. The leaf is very, very important. You call it a cocoa leaf. You use it for shiftancy, where you put it in the heart of anyone you want to.
I know that one.
It grows widely in the place. And we call it Iwere leaves. So the prince now said, that is where I want to live. And then they put the oracle, that's what they call Ifa, on the ground. And the Ifa said, this is the promised land. But because this man, Ikiri, and his community had surrendered their sovereignty to this prince, the prince now decided to establish his kingdom. And he called the people two names. Since this land we have found as this plant growing widely, they call it Ale Iwere. Ile Iwere or Ale. In the language is like the ground or the land of the Iwere leaf.
Oh, Ile.
Yes.
Ale, yeah.
Yes. Then the people, it said, when they as they were eating, and part of the reception, the prayer that Mr. Ikiri made was that, my host, may you live in peace, may your days belong your excellency and or your majesty, and so on. In honor of this Mr. Ikiri, the prince said the people should be named after him. So, and the name became Ashe Ikiri in Yoruba, or Ishe Ikiri. May the prayer of Mr. Ikiri continue to follow us and bless and live with us. So that's how we became Ishekiri. And because the language and the culture and the tradition was well established before the prince came in 1475, the language remained the same. So if you go to Ondo State, Ekiti, or Ode, you will see that there is similarity in pronunciation, like your hair. You say Iyun, we say Iran. You say Ori, we say Ori. You say Oju, we say Eju. You say Enu, we say Aun.
Has that answered your question?
Thank you very much, Chief.
God bless you.
I should pay you for this little lesson.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And tune in next week for the Ruffina show.
Ruffina,
yes.
Well done with your Miss Adama. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Well done. Have a good day.
Thank you. Keep on supporting us. Thank you.
I will do. Always do.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that was interesting.
Yes, and that place that was discovered for nearly 600 years ago by the royal family.
Yes.
They built a church there, a cathedral.
Still there today?
Yes, called because the language has changed, and that name too has been adulterated. It's now called Okotumu instead of Okoitimi.
Okay, one moment. Thank you. Hello, thank you for calling the Ruffina show. May I know who you are? Hello.
My name is Chief Josephine Onemo.
Thank you for calling, ma'am.
Hello, Chief Josephine Onemo. Is that Chief from Houston in Texas?
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for calling. What time is it there now?
It's about if I midday.
Okay. Okay. Thank you and good afternoon. Thank you. May you like to ask a question to the High Chief?
I wanted to say thank you for all he's doing. I appreciate the effort, his time, and above all his commitment. I want to ask him what keeps going. He's quite a busy man.
What keeps me going? I'm a very, very busy man. You see, when you have passion for your culture, for your tradition, and you have recognition, it pushes you.
Sure.
You see, what many people, I'm sure, have got the same passion, if not higher passion, but they are discouraged. But when you are not discouraged, you are encouraged.
Yeah.
You want to do more.
Yeah.
And that is what I live for. I can see lots of people encouraging me instead of discouraging me.
Well, I am one of the recipients of High Chief Richmond's encouragement, because he encourages me. Like I said in my intro, we have known each other for a long time, and it's wonderful to actually see him in this position today and saying, well done. And the same thing, when I obviously met him and saw that he's taken up this title, I must say, to whom much is given, much is expected. And he is he's a chosen person. And all we can do is just encourage him to keep on doing good. So I give you the last question before I say thank you and goodbye.
Can I just ask one more question before you cut me out?
Yes, of course.
The last question I want to ask him, how did you get involved in charity work? What was your drive?
Yeah, my drive for charity, although I took it from my mom when I was young, she was always doing charity, and the more she was doing, the more she was getting, until I visited Nigeria. And this was during the crisis between the Shekiris, the Urobos, and the Ijos. Before I went to Nigeria, I knew that we used to have communal clashes. People would fight, they punch each other with hands and muscles, But what I saw was that it gone beyond that. They were now using guns and killing so many people. And the question that struck me was that some of these children whose parents were killed, they don't even know why their parents were killed. And if you don't know why your parents were killed, you become bitter.
Yes.
There is something in England called social security, which unfortunately in Africa we don't have.
Yes.
So I thought, if these children don't have someone to pick them when their parents are killed, they may end up as armed robbers, and armed robbers will not select you by your tribe. So when I went to Nigeria, the first thing I did was to give scholarship to 4 primary school children whose parents were killed, and 12 secondary schools, and I think 4 universities. And this was how it all started until I just lost count.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Just before you go, are you a Shekeri person yourself?
I know her very well. She is the first woman to be made a chief anywhere in the world outside Nigeria by the Shekeri tribe.
Oh. Now I don't even know how to address you. You're highly welcome onto this.
Thank you so much. Great job, man. Thank you. We just appreciate your work. And
thank you.
What a show. Awesome show.
Thank you.
I'm just loving it. Thank you. Have a good one.
I'm going to get your details from High Chief and then be in touch with you. Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Have a nice day. Bye. That's interesting.
Yes, and she has one of the biggest charity now for Shekeri people as we speak.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
We're taking this Mr. Dama to America.
Yeah.
So that will be, yes. Going to see Mr. Dama USA. Watch out.
And I'll be there. Live.
I know. So moving on. Now, as an ambassador of good, traveling around the world, representing your kingdom, you've met lots of people in high places. Tell us who's the most interesting one or ones, places, persons that you've come across that you can share in these very few moments that we have.
First, I haven't met him.
Well,
and it's called God.
Yes, I hope you don't meet him just yet.
No.
Because you have a lot to teach us.
I haven't met him.
Yes.
And I know I'm not going to meet him very soon. is God Almighty.
Yes. Okay.
You see, with God, everything is possible.
Yes.
And there is a lot to learn. You see, I've read the Bible. I've read about the man called Jesus. I've read about his time here on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like I once told some people, some journalists, that they asked me, "Are you a Christian?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said it will be blasphemous of me to call myself a Christian. And I'm yet to meet a Christian on this mother earth.
You know when questions
You
like
know why?
that, yeah,
After reading the time who Jesus is,
yes.
no man can ever be like him. We only aspire
Christ.
on a daily basis. We continue to. No, nobody's Christ-like. We pray on a daily basis. So that question is that: who inspires me? Who has touched me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is Jesus or God? I've never met him. When you look at what he stood for, what he did, and what he continued to do in my life, it's my prayer on a daily basis that if I can aspire to be 1/1,000,000th of what he was, I will touch more lives. My life too will be touched. The second person I will say here on earth, and it's my greatest mentor, or was my greatest mentor. No, I would say still my greatest mentor, though no longer alive,
Mm-hmm.
but still touched my life on a daily basis. My late mom.
Oh.
My mom.
Oh.
You see, Ruffina. You see, let me. I have to keep referring to the Bible.
Yes.
The Bible tells you of 10 commandments.
Yes.
Of these 10 commandments, there are only 2 important ones. 8 you can put in the bin. 1. The 2 most important commandments in the Bible is serve no other God apart from me. And he gave you a reason. Thou shalt not kill. He didn't tell you to kill mosquito. Thou shalt not kill. He didn't give you reasons. Even thou shalt not commit adultery. All these things, there's no reasons. But God gave you reasons for 2. Serve no other God because I'm a jealous God. The second one, honor thy father and thy mother so that thy days shall be long in the land I've chosen for you. So, when you honor your father and your mother, the other 8 parts of the commandments are what your parents tells you not to do. Thou shalt not, look my child, don't steal.
Yes.
Don't commit this, don't do that.
Yeah.
So if you listen and if you really honor your parents, you listen to them. And that's what my mother inculcated into me. And with that, it covers everything. Everything in life.
Everything. On that note then, would it be fair to say that music was your first love then?
So my wife should forgive me.
Well, you couldn't have got married at the age of 14.
No.
So
no, but till tomorrow, music is still my number 1 passion. But when people talk about music, it's not every music. Some are like what I would define as organized noise.
Mm-hmm.
For me to enjoy music, it has to be music in its raw form. The Africanness. You take me to tribal music anywhere in the world. The raw form that doesn't go through synthesizer. That's what really, really turns me on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting that. Going back to how it all started as a DJ, when in your past life as a DJ, when you go to events and people see you that haven't seen you for a long time and then suddenly see you in this regalia, how do they view you? How do they relate to you? How do they relate to you? Because obviously you relate to people as who they are, but how do they relate to you?
You see, being a high chief, there are some simple rules that governs my position. I'm representing a tribe. I'm representing the nation. I'm representing the Africanness. I'm representing the black race. It must go with some respect. So before if I'm invited to an occasion, I set the rules. You don't invite me with text message. You don't invite me with invitation card. You don't just come and talk to me. You are inviting me in my official capacity. I don't have personal capacity anymore because there's no official. When I'm coming as a chief.
Yes.
So therefore, you will come, if you have an invitation card, you come in with 2 bottles of drink.
Yes.
The 2 bottles, the reason why it's 2 is that 1, I will open to pray, for you and for me, that whatever brought you here should be fruitful as you go home. May you find your home in peace and in good health. The second bottle I put on the floor. So after you've gone, whoever comes in, that 1 bottle will tell the story, how that bottle found itself there. There's a reason for everything. Let it take 6 months, 1 year. That 1 bottle will tell a story. Who brought it, why he brought it, and so on. After you've invited me, whether I'm coming or not, you have to do that. Then if I'm coming, I tell you what the do's and don'ts.
Yes.
1, as a high chief, I will not be the first person at the party, and I will not be the last person at the party. The position has respect, and it must go with the respect.
Sure.
When I'm coming, don't expect me to put all this on my neck in my majesty and come by boss.
Sure.
So there is a Uber that will take me, or somebody to take me there and take me back. When I arrive, there must be somebody at the gate to usher me to my table.
Sure.
Where I'm going to be sitting must be dignifying enough to carry the weight of the whole of my tribe and nation and the black race. Because everyone may be wearing suit and so on. I may be the only one representing the black race.
Yes. Yes.
So, and when I'm taking, even if I'm going to be called to the high table, you must first put me in a befitting place to sit until I'm ushered to the high table. When I come in there, I don't often shake hands because it's not an African culture to shake hands. So, but I will shake your hands and I will socialize with the people because I am not just a chief of His Majesty, the palace. I'm also a chief of the people. So I try to relate to the people, talk to the people. Some people are, the last time I saw him, he was played at my wedding and so on. So I go to these people. Sometimes they are totally confused. They don't know. They've been told that, this is not an ordinary chief, and how do you relate to him?
Yes.
So, and I tell them, I make them relax, and I tell them, this is my title, these are things I don't do, I don't eat in public. And if I am hungry, because I may have traveled far, and
to be taken to the side.
My food has to be prepared, kept in a private room, and have to be whispered to and ushered. If you're excited and you take the microphone to announce that the chiefs I will not go.
Okay.
You blew. So I will go there, eat privately, clean myself, and come back.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm just excited, and it's almost as though I've been in a classroom learning about the Shikiri Kingdom. So, upon this, my last question to you is more or less a request to face the camera, because all the time we've been talking, you and I have actually been talking. So this shows a sign of, part of what you have learned is to engage with who you're speaking to.
Yes.
I think we've even forgotten that we're on TV. But I would like you to face the camera and just tell the people what it is to be a cultural man and also a high chief of this our great nation, not just the Shikiri Kingdom now, but to be a representative, an ambassador of the African people. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Ruffina. First and foremost, take pride in your Africanness. Take pride in whoever you are, where you come from. There is a reason why God made you African. There's a reason why God made you from your community. It doesn't take much to identify with where you come from. Look at me in my majesty. I'm so happy I am dressed like this. There are different shades of black. There are different shades of white. You see, whatever you do, start. You may think, oh, I don't know how to tie the wrapper. I don't know how to do this one. Learn. If you want to learn, you always find people who will teach you. There are people too that will praise you, and bit by bit, you promote your culture. I want to give you one example. There is a place in Nigeria called Ajibodudu. Even Warri, even Lagos. When the white people came there, when it was time for them to marry, they came to England. The young white men came to England to take wife. They went back to Nigeria and they had children. They named their children John, Christopher, and so on. They did not say because they were living in Nigeria, they called their children Tokumbo, Ademola. The ones in Ishekiri, they didn't call them Orishemeyiwa. They named them their English names. They wore them their English culture, a traditional outfit, because they take pride where they come from. We can do same. Give your children middle name, African name, that has meanings, deep meaning, beautiful meaning. Your name is your calling. You call your pastor general overseer. You call him man of God. It's a beautiful name. Call your children beautiful name. Typical example. Adamma. Beauty.
Daughter of beauty.
The daughter of beauty. And for you to know how beautifully that name is, there was one Igbo musician that sang a record called Celestine Ukwu in the 70s, although he died since then. But that is what is still played in all weddings to today. Adamma. There is beauty in being yourself, being African. Identity is very, very important. If I go anywhere in the world, the first thing you see is visual. The first thing you see is the way I carry myself, what I'm wearing, the way, how dignified I look, how beautiful I look in my Africanness. And I believe you can do the same. The more, the merrier. And I will continue and forever represent the black race everywhere I go.
Well, upon that note, Your Royal Highness, because that's who you are, High Chief, Your Royal Highness, thank you very, very much for gracing the Ruffina show. I wish you long life. You have educated me, and I'm sure you've also educated our audience. So thank you very much for attending the Ruffina show. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Ruffina show next week. Thank you, and goodbye.
Bye, and thank you very much.
Wake the streets up.